Hello, hello. Can everyone hear me? Can everyone see the Bitcoin charts? Are the volumes okay? We have a little bit of a delay. I had a really busy day today, but we just saw some downside. Everyone's getting bearish again. Lovely to see early in the week, early in the month. Let them become bearish and we long into the fear and target new highs. That's my plan at least. So I'll explain what I'm looking for on Bitcoin, Ethereum, maybe some altcoins, but we'll keep it short today. Like I said, I have a really busy day today, so I gotta go again pretty soon, but let's see what we can do, all right? So, how's everyone doing? Everyone holding up well? Everything you said is happening. Well, not everything. The first part is done. We were looking for a sweep of these lows, so that has happened. I already saw some people like commenting on bull posts or something, you know, asking for an update, but it's all part of the plan so far. So let's see, but we'll explain in detail in a second. Just gonna give it a little bit more time so some people can join. And then we'll get into the charts. How can I have access to your Prime XBT referral? What do you mean? If you mean the code, send me a DM on Discord, ideally, and I'll send it to you. What are you doing today, George? I'm doing a lot, actually. Went to the store to repair my bike, went to play some golf, then I went swimming. Now I came home and I'm going live, and then this evening I'm going to a restaurant to celebrate someone's birthday. So like I said, a lot of things to do. And the market's seeing some volatility as well, so let's make sure that we're ready for that. So let's get into the video. Enough waiting. Let's just get into the charts. Like I said, it will be a quick one, but we'll cover everything you guys need to know. My plans, how I'm looking to play the markets in the coming days to weeks. We got a new monthly close, so we can talk about that as well. So yeah, a lot of things happening. Let's see. Okay, if you enjoy the stream, leave a like as always. subscribe if you haven't already. We're on our way to 10k subs, so that would help me a lot. And yeah, if you have any questions during the stream, feel free to ask. All right, so starting off with Bitcoin. So we had the weekly close, right? It's Tuesday today, so we've got our Monday range, we had our weekly close, so a lot to talk about. So let's see. Weekly close, super strong, right? The previous, the weekly close from the week before, bearish below there, but as always, what do we say? If it's a sweep, right, closes don't really mean anything if you just engulf or just reclaim the levels that you're watching on the next weekly close or the next few candles, right? So as you guys know, we're always looking for sweeps of liquidity. So if you have a kilo, right, price breaks below it, that's considered a sweep of the low. Even if if price closes below that level, right, it's still a sweep, obviously. Does that mean that it's a breakdown? Well, you don't know yet. If it's a close below, you should assume that it is, but if you have a lot of confluence around that level, a lot of stops getting taken into a key area, ideally demand, OTE area, a monthly open level, a weekly level, doesn't matter really. If it's that, then there's a good chance, right, that you're gonna have a lot of people shorting into that close, right? They say it's a bearish close, we're looking for continuation, but all it's doing is taking the stops into support, into demand, into whatever, and then it smashes back above those levels and closes the next weekly or daily candle right above those levels, stopping everyone out that shorted into the low and squeezing a lot higher, right? And that's sort of what we saw quite a bit already. We saw it here as well, for example. If you consider this close a bearish close, right? A lot of people were targeting lower. What did it do? Swept the lows, pumped, and closed back above the levels, right? That's exactly what it did here in this case as well. Bearish close, you could say, but we swept a lot of key levels into a pivotal area, which you can see right here. As you can see, the price action around this level, resistance, resistance, dumped, smashed above, support, broke back below, resistance, once smashed above that in one go, and then retest into that level. Some said a bearish close, some were targeting a lot lower, but then next weekly candle reclaimed a lot of key levels, the monthly open, the previous monthly open, of course. And yeah, closed very strong. Okay, so that's what happened. And that's one of the reasons why I think that this weekly close was really bullish for Bitcoin. Okay, now what are we watching next? Let's remove all of these again. Okay, so we've got our weekly, hold on, let's clean it up a little bit. Remove that as well. That was the previous monthly open. Let's mark it out like this. And then we have our current monthly open, which is gonna be right here. Good to mark that out as well. Now, on the monthly, as you can see, not a lot of upside and just straight downside price action. Whenever you open a monthly candle, what you're often gonna get is downside or upside early in the month and then a reversal during the rest of the month. So downside early in the month often is a good thing. And I think we could have I think that could be the case with this monthly candle. Why? Because not a lot of upside price action. The wick to the upside is not big. You drop, you create the lower wick, and then once you reclaim that monthly open, it's go time and it's time to create the upper wick, right? And at that point, you're above the monthly open. Bullish price action often leads to prices trading a lot higher during the rest of the month. Okay, so straight away, what's going to be the trigger for that? Well, that would be the monthly candle flipping bullish, meaning a reclaim of the monthly open. So that's why I marked out this level. That's going to be a key level. On the weekly, not really a lot to mark out here, except for just keeping in mind that these two weekly candles, as you can see, were small bodied candles with huge wicks to both sides, huge wicks to the downside and to the upside. And what often happens is that those bodies of the candles are gonna be a pivotal level. And as you can see, we started dumping from there, so that should have acted as resistance. But once you reclaim that level, what you often get is that they're gonna be bought up if you retest them from the upside. And that's what's happening right here. So you could mark them out. I'm personally not going to, but as you can see, we wicked in there today actually, and as you can see, we're bouncing on the lower time frame. So that could be a level to keep an eye on as well. So then moving on to the daily. On the daily, clean range, right, with the lows right here, the highs up here. All of the lows have been swept right here. Previous monthly open has been reclaimed aggressively. And what were we watching on the lower time frames? We were watching this local range with this as the highs and this as the lows, right? Local highs got swept. But what's important here is that these highs, all of these are still unswept, okay? So high time frame liquidity to the downside has been swept. High time frame liquidity to the upside is still unswept. We just swept lower time frame liquidity to the upside, which is why we were targeting low time frame liquidity to the downside, looking for the sweep. But after that, where's the draw going to be? Well, in my opinion, very big to the upside. Okay, so we just got the sweep into the pivotal price section right here, the previous monthly open. So in my opinion, a really good level with a clean invalidation to look for longs. Okay, so even before we were not sure when I posted this, but I've been talking about these lows for quite a while, the past few days, and I said I was looking for a sweep of these lows, and once we see a reclaim, then I think we will be trading towards all of these highs and squeeze it a lot higher. And that's what's happening at the moment. What would invalidate this? Well, even from the past streams, I said it's even possible that we dip on the lower time frames below this previous monthly open level. Wick take some more stops below there, but as long as we hold above this range low level, sorry, I am targeting a lot higher, and I do think we trade towards new all-time highs. Everyone is once again flipping bearish. Everyone's becoming bearish right into a key sweep of low time frame liquidity, while you have all of these highs unswept to the upside. So I think it's time to look for longs. What would confirm this whole idea? Well, simply said, as you can see, nice confluence with this monthly open and this range mean, which has just pivotal price action, resistance, support, support, resistance. You get the idea. If we now smash back above here, yeah, then it's just go time. Invalidation here, target new all-time highs. All right, so that confirms that the low is in. Aggressive longs, I mean, not even aggressive for me. This was the scenario that we were eyeing. And in my opinion, it's looking very good. So I definitely wouldn't be shorting into this. But yeah, let's see what we get. Is that clear for everyone? That was a lot of talking, but please do let me know if it's unclear, if you have any questions. Do you value the sign that RSI is giving on the weekly charts? It's giving bearish vibes exactly like last cycle, higher prices while RSI is going lower. I personally don't look at RSI. You can if you want, but I focus on price action mainly. So that was Bitcoin. As I said, confirmation on new all-time highs, or on these highs at least, is a reclaim of the current monthly open. As long as we don't, you could see something like this. Just a lot more chop before ultimately breaking higher. What is a price point where I flip bearish on Bitcoin? Well, in my opinion, the level to hold is this area. Right, that's at this moment the OTE from the low to the high, OTE resting in this area, and as you can see, just pivotal price action, support, aggressive sweep, and from there, boom, made it to new highs, new local highs at least. So if we start closing below here, yeah, then it's time to start talking about 90k first, I would say. But like, I see some people talking about like 70k at the moment. Like, yeah, I mean, everyone in his own thing, but in my opinion, that's way too early. So that's Bitcoin. Now the cleaner one, in my opinion, is actually ETH. Why? Because of this clean range that we had, right? Where we have these highs, the highs got swept, we had the lows. From here, we said that the draw was going to be to the lows, and we were looking for a sweep of the lows, a reclaim, and if we would see that reclaim, right, that would be the trigger to target higher. And look at what we got. We got the sweep, played out beautifully. I didn't long this sweep. Why not? Because at this point, this could have still been a breakout, and I didn't like all of this inefficient price action. So could have as well just kept on nuking all the way to range lows. But the fact that we got the smash back above the lows and are now just chilling here, consolidating, in my opinion, tells us that Ethereum wants to do something like this. So once again, I am watching. Bitcoin did sweep the lower time frame lows already. Ethereum didn't. We still have these lows right here. So if you get a sweep of those lows, right, into range low, into OTE, that gives you a really clean, nice risk reward setup with invalidation below here, and a target all of these highs, these highs, these highs. But I wouldn't close all of it at these highs. I would be holding at least half in case we see something like this where we sweep the lows, reclaim this, and send it a lot higher towards here. All right, so are you already long ETH? Yes, I am. I longed at these highs as we got the weekly close. Look at this weekly close, very strong. If I see it correctly, yeah, we didn't sweep last week's high yet, which is good. That creates more liquidity to the upside. Started dumping, right, on the lower time frames. So as long as we hold this, I think this is just creating the lower wick that results in higher prices later this week. So I did long after the weekly close, so I am long from a little bit higher, as you can see right here. But I do have a pretty wide invalidation below OTE, and my plan was to add on a sweep of these lows. So if we do this, I will be adding, and then I will have a better average entry targeting first range highs, right? I will be taking some off there, and then if we reclaim these highs, yeah, then it's go time for Ethereum. right? Clear for everyone? And then also a thing why I'm very bullish on Bitcoin, and I think that it's just a massive trap trading lower now, is because stocks are trading at all-time highs. And I think, yeah, every time it's past all-time highs, it's just go time, you know. We talked about it in the last stream, where we said that it's the most likely scenario would just be to trade to new all-time highs and to keep on going. And I think that's still true. So I'm still targeting 7K here on the S&P. Oil was nice as well. Well, we were looking for, so ever since we were trading up here, we swept the highs, we closed here, we drew the plan, looking for the sweep of the lows and a reclaim. So I longed quite aggressively right here. What am I looking for right now? Either strength from here and a breakout out of this chop that sends us back towards supply, where I'll close some, or another sweep of the lows and then a reclaim where I'll add to longs and also target up here. That's oil. If it breaks below here and closes here, that would be a bad sign, and then likely sent towards here. So then I'll take some losses, but too early to talk about that. Then gold. Gold still watching the same plan, to be honest. On the daily, just saw some upside, but as long as we don't reclaim this level, right, close above here, I don't think we see new highs. I think we see downside actually. Just made an equal low right here, so draw there, draw towards this range low. So ideal scenario for me would be downside from here, right? Take that low and then see strength, and then we can start looking for longs again. Silver, we are still in longs on silver, still in this range, right? Could have taken some off at range highs here, but I didn't personally. It did go for another sweep into range low, which got bought up quite aggressively. Now this is considered support, so as long as we keep pushing from here, I do think we pump back into this supply area. If we break above this local range high, then I think it's go time and it sends a lot higher. But we'll have to see. Break below this area and a close down here, yeah, then I think we dip lower into new lows. And that's basically it for today. Any more questions? Or I think we covered most. Quickly hype maybe. We've had this chart for ages, right? Watching this supply area, the OTE from the high to the low, where we started bouncing. What's the area to watch? Well, the OTE area, and that lines up beautifully with the supply or the range where we started dumping from, telling that a lot of people accumulated shorts in this area, and that area is gonna get defended. So we just pumped into this area, and look at how perfectly we rejected from OTE. So as long as we don't reclaim this, I think we could be dropping lower. But at the same time, because of all the things I explained about Bitcoin and Ethereum, if we start bouncing on those, I do think that hype will be one of the charts that bounces the hardest, right? So if those start bouncing, then I think, yeah, hype just does something like this, something stupid, and sends to new all-time highs. But technically we are at resistance, so I wouldn't be surprised if it does this. If you're looking for longs, right, I would be waiting for either strength and a reclaim above here. Time it with Bitcoin, reclaiming the monthly open. Time it with Ethereum, reclaiming this resistance. And then look for longs right there. Or I'd be waiting for a sweep of some lows and then look for longs. All right. Do you use Bluefin? Yes, sir. I trade on Bluefin at the moment, and you can as well if you want. If you make an account on Bluefin and make a deposit, you get to join my Discord group for free, where I post all of my trades live. More analysis, more thoughts. There's channels where you can chat, ask questions, all that stuff. So if you want to join, sign up on Bluefin and make a deposit. All right, that's gonna be it for today. Like I said, it's gonna be a shorter one, as I gotta go soon. I hope you did enjoy the live stream. If you did, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.